Hi everyone, I'm Alex.
I'm Andrew.
And this is an experiment yet to be named. So if you name this project that we're about to embark upon, we will send you a free gift in the mail. So how about that? So we will start with our jingle. One.
All right, so we're gonna do a little bit, playing a little bit of talking. The idea is that we're gonna have an ongoing series of videos here and accompanying audio with some new recordings, and we've dug up some old recordings from the archives that we've made together over the past 10 years, I guess. Discuss a little bit about tango music, the things we like to play, and also put some new stuff up for you to enjoy whilst everyone's still at home.
Yeah. So the first song that we're gonna do, everyone's favorite, drum roll. La Cumparsita. So each time we're gonna focus on one song that we have recordings of, and the link is down below to Bandcamp. You can go there and support us musicians by donating, and you get several different versions of the same song. So La Cumparsita, over the years, I think we've transitioned from having it being a lot of sound to trying to get the most minimal sound possible. Like if you imagine the skeleton of the song La Cumparsita and just hitting the important sort of bones of it. And that's not only something that we've learned as musicians from the song itself and the composition, but all the different recordings from D'Arienzo and Di Sarli that we've been listening to also as dancers. There's certain things that all the orchestras kind of do at the same time, and so when we play, that informs what we do.
I mean, it's certainly one of the most, if not the most recorded tango of all time, so everyone who's out of Milonga will have heard it, and most people in the world have heard it, even if they're not tango dancers. So, you know, it's not necessary, like with a newer song or new compositions or some more obscure things, to state it all. That's why, you know, we've moved in this direction of trying to play, just the most necessary bits to get the idea of the song across.
Mm-hmm. And there's certain things, for example, like when it starts off, the typical accompaniment is in the marcato, right? It's a very steady rhythm. But when it gets, after about 4 bars in, to the C minor chord, most orchestras there, for some reason or the other, must have been historically one orchestra did it, and now they all do it. They all do a syncopa there. So whatever arrangement you're playing, or if you're playing in the alla parrilla style or just improvised style without sheet music, when you get to that C minor as a musician, you know in that bar 5 that the syncopa is kind of what's going to happen. At least it's going to inform the decision about what you're about to do.
Mm. And similarly, you know, in the later sections of the piece, there's a series of solos that were pretty famously on the D'Arienzo version, like the piano solo, which everybody knows.
So we know to pause right there as musicians and also as dancers. So even if you're not playing the D'Arienzo version, if the pianist starts playing that, everyone in the room, whether you're a musician or a dancer, kind of knows that there's going to be a big pause.
Yeah, and I think most orchestras would know, you know, at what point that's going to happen. You know, 3 times through that section after the other sections, you know, that's usually when that piano solo takes place.
Yeah. And as musicians, when we play in an improvised style, or again what's called alla parrilla amongst tango musicians, I think whoever is playing the melody is driving what everyone else is doing. So if Andrew is playing, let's say, the beginning of La Cumparsita, I don't know what he's going to do, but maybe he plays it quietly in the beginning, right? I'm going to accompany him quietly there too, right? And then he might change. So some body language there signaling to me, hey, I'm going to hit this note, and then my hands are not near the keys, I'm going to let it go and give it a little bit more space. So I'm reading the body language informed by the recordings that I've heard and also familiar with the composition, kind of all culminates in this really cool musical experience.
So we've got a couple of versions for you down in the Bandcamp link below. The first one is one that we recorded during the quarantine when I was still back in London. And so that's kind of an interesting study in what we were just talking about, right? Because we had to communicate these things only audio without the visual component.
Yeah, and then the other track, I recorded an album in New York, a la parrilla, with some great musicians. And the only direction that I gave them in the recording studio was to play it minimally and dissonantly. So playing as few notes as possible while still making it recognizable. And also with a little bit of edge, not too polished, not too clean. And I think it was a really neat thing. So what Andrew and I do is kind of a similar thing. So you have two different versions of sort of a similar idea. Again, the skeletal structure of La Cumparsita that I think is also still danceable and dancers can relate to.
So have a look below. You can donate whatever you feel comfortable with. And thanks, of course, for your support. And if you can come up with a name for this series of videos and audios, let us know, and we'll send you a surprise in the mail.
Until next time, see you all later.